welcome back. Melissa here from Beein Cozy Stitching, and today's project is a Patchwork Pineapple Mini. Now this pattern can be found at Sassafras Lane Designs, and I'll have a link down below. It is a free pattern offered to everybody, but it's a fantastic pattern to use up your scraps and stuff that you have left over from other projects. As many of you know, I love scraps. I'm like the trash can queen. I just absolutely adore using scraps. I think one of the best parts about using your scraps is that even if you're in the middle of a project and you run out of a certain fabric, you can go insert another fabric that's kind of sort of the same or totally different, whatever, it depends on your project. But anyway, you can go and insert a different fabric and it looks like it was meant to be there. And usually we always run out of fabric at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and our favorite quilt shop isn't open. So I really like scrap quilts because no matter what you got, it all goes together. It's easy to do. And besides, I paid for all the fabric. I want to use every bit of it, not just the big pieces, even the little pieces. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about our Patchwork Pineapple Mini. What you're going to do is refer to your pattern, and I suggest you all go over and get the pattern. It's a free pattern, and check out their other designs. They're fabulous, fabulous designer. The patterns are well written, easy to follow. You're not going to have a problem following the patterns. But when it comes to doing small projects, I usually like to do more than just one. So I'm always trying to streamline the project and come up with a way to make it go a little faster, make it a little easier, just so it doesn't take so much time, because each step takes a little bit more time. So I'm going to show you how I streamlined the pattern, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So refer to your patterns when you get them picked up as to what the sizes are that you need. And once you have your sizes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay it out on our flannel board, flannel wall, whatever you got. Lay it on the table, doesn't matter. It's a little project. By the time it's done, it's about 6 by 9. Perfect for hanging on the door. And with that happy little note, let me show you how I hang mine. You go ahead and get yourself a couple of your favorite magnets at your local store. Sorry for the blue sky. And this is what you got when you hang it on the door. Now, why do I want to hang a pineapple on my door? So I just want to tell everybody, because I'm really into folklore and all that kind of stuff. So way back when, and pardon the jiggles and the wiggles, I hope it doesn't make you too sick, but way back when, the ship's captains, when they would come home, they would be bombarded by their townspeople and neighbors and friends, and everybody, of course, wanted to say hi and see him and do business and what have you. But man, the guy just got home after being away for months at sea. Just wanted a bath, a meal, his family, you know, a little downtime, a good night's sleep, all that kind of stuff. So they devised this little system. And what the captain would do is hang pineapples either from his fence gate or from his front door as a way of letting everybody know, okay, now you can come and visit me. I'm ready. But up until then, nobody bothered him. But once he put out the pineapples, it was a sign of welcome. It was a sign that it's okay to come over. So come on over. I'm ready to do business, talk, chat, whatever you'd like to do. So in keeping with history, you are hanging a pineapple from your door and letting people know, hey, it's okay to come and see me. Okay, so let's cruise on over to the table here. We're going to flip you again, so I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't make you sick, but again, we're just learning how to do this stuff, so hang in there. Okay, so once you have all your pieces cut and laid out, once all your pieces are cut and laid out, you're going to lay out your pieces as such. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but it will when you get done. And so what I want you to do, sorry, hope I'm not making everybody sick. I got to find a way to do this better. So maybe we'll put you up there and we'll put you up here. Oh, perfect. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So you'll notice there are some half square triangles that have to be put together. And those seem to be the only multiple step blocks that you have in your pattern. So what I like to do when I look at the pattern is I want to put together all the subunits that make a block and get those out of the way and do those quickly. So the first thing we're going to start with is going to be our half square triangles. And, you know, power of television and magic and all that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sew together all of our little half square units. Now, half square units, once they're pressed open, they're going to leave you with something that looks like this. Yeah, it'd be nice if you guys could see this, wouldn't it? All right, there we go. So once your half square units are pressed open, you're going to be left with something that has what we call these little dog ears. And little dog ears are simply all of these little extra pieces here that are left over on the sides, and we want to get rid of those. So what I suggest is if you don't have one already, go ahead out and get yourself a block lock tool. No, I'm not endorsed to sell block locks. No, I don't get any kickbacks, none of that. I just really believe it's a good, useful tool, one you should have in your supply of things. So what you're going to do is you're going to line this up on the seam line, and there's this great little groove that rides right down the middle of the ruler, and it fits right on your seam line. And you're going to push it over to the side here, clean all this away and clean all this away. Then when you get that done, you just slide the ruler up. You're still on the seam line, and you're going to line up these edges with the lines where you want to cut for the size block that you want. And again, you're going to clear away all of the excess on the two sides. So once that's taken care of, then we come over to our little pineapple project. You guys doing okay? Can you see everything okay? All right, so we're going to remove these and these and these and these and those and this and that and blah blah blah. And what we're going to go ahead and do then next is we're going to take our little pile of half square triangles. See, now I threw everything all over the place, and now I'm not going to be able to find what I need. Isn't that just Murphy's Law? Okay, so too funny. We're going to go ahead and lay down. Again, we're going to lay down our pieces according to our pattern of exactly where we need these pieces to be and how we need them to go. Because remember, we're doing our subunits first, and then once our subunits are together, then we're going to stitch the rest of our rows together. And it's very simple, and it's very much like a 9-patch block going on here. You're going to sew this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one, and you're going to continue on down the rows. Once you have all your rows completed and sewn together, then you're going to start stitching the rows together. Real simple. And I'm going to pause right there, and I'm going to grab some other samples for you to take a look at. So hold on just a second. Okay, so now that we've gone over to the sewing machine and we've sewn our rows together, you can see we've got all these blocks put together to create our rows. What we're going to do now is we're going to sew our rows together. So we're going to flip this piece down, and we're going to pin at each intersection for the blocks. Now, when you're pinning your pieces together and you're getting into your corners here, what you want to do is you want to nest them together. So you're going to lay one seam going in one direction and the other seam going in the other direction so that they nest right next to each other when you put them together. So you got kind of a little sandwich going here. They're all nested together. Then you can pin them, and kind of as a cheat to see if you're on track or not, you can open them up, and if they line up good, you've got it right. Okay, so from here we're going to stop for a minute and we're going to run over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew our rows together and then we'll be right back. Okay, now that we have all of our rows sewn together, we end up with a piece that looks like this. Let me put that into perspective so that you can actually see what we're doing here. Sorry about covering everything here. I think I need a smaller display board. But for now, this one will work. So once you have all of your rows sewn together, you end up with a piece that looks like this. And if you like this size, or you have another project that you want to put this into, this is a good place to be done. You can be finished. Otherwise, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to border this out. And so refer to your pattern as to what sizes to cut your strips. Go ahead and cut your strips. Border out your pineapple. Now, this border can be the same color white scraps that you're already currently using. This can be a different fabric. I mean, get creative. Use up your stuff. You know, you just go ahead and substitute anything anywhere you like. You're in the driver's seat. You're the designer here. But just to give you a little for instance, this is what it's going to look like with fabric that is exactly like the background fabrics on this side here, and this side over here would be what it would look like if you made a border using some other fabrics to kind of make it stand out. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. Okay, so once we get that taken care of, then it's just a matter of creating our little sandwich. And our little sandwich, what is a sandwich? A sandwich is basically your backing fabric laid down, your piece of batting laid on top of your backing fabric, and your finished bordered pineapple piece laid on the top of that. So once your sandwich is together, then it's going to look like this. Now, because this is such a small piece, it really isn't going to require a whole lot of quilting to keep all of your layers together. And if you look at our sample here, in our sample, I just basically outlined the pineapple shape all the way around and then put the binding on, and pretty much it was done. It's not going to take a lot of abuse. I don't know if you can see the stitching around that or not, but anyway, very simple stitching. It's not going to take a lot of wear and tear. It isn't going to need a whole lot of binding to hold it together. Now, if you want to do the half and half binding system, please don't do it the way that I did it, or the way that I'm going to do the next ones will look nothing like this one. Don't worry about being exact and getting in the corners. It is nothing but a measurement nightmare. It looks great when it's done. It's not worth all of the work and the hassle. So just start with your binding about here, run it across and down. You'll see where the color change will be down here and then up the other side. It looks great. Refer to the pattern. It'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with your half and half binding on there. You really, really don't need to be as perfect or specific or any of that stuff as I was. Okay? So with that said, I hope I didn't lose anybody. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer all the questions that you have that I'm able to answer. We kind of went through things pretty quickly, but it's a pretty basic, simple pattern. I think you're going to be good to go. And I really think you're going to enjoy it. It makes a wonderful gift. You can make tons of them, give them to your friends, hang them on the door, put them in other projects, whatever you'd like. Don't be afraid to try this pattern in different sizes. Different sizes will give you a different result. Obviously, it's going to be bigger, but it's cute and it gives you more applications for using up those scraps, okay? So, thanks for joining me today. Can't wait to get together with you again for the next project. Happy scrapping!